I'm going to show you more ways to play blues, 12-bar blues with a walking line. You can do this on an acoustic guitar or on an electric guitar. You can do it with a pick like I'm using, or you can use your fingers or your thumb if you like to finger pick, however you like to pick. This is going to work for all those different. Hey everybody, welcome to John's Guitar Lounge. I'm Johnny Stewart, and today I'm going to show you more ways to play blues. And I'm going to show you a variation on something that I showed you in an earlier video, where I showed you how to play blues, like 12-bar blues in the key of E, just using the chords. And now I'm going to show you how to do it with a little bit more movement and like a walking line. Sort of like a walking bass line, but really straightforward, something that you're going to be able to do and really enjoy and get a lot of use out of. So instead of using a full E chord like I showed you before, or even the E7 chord like I showed you before, for this we're just going to start by using our index finger just on our A string and our D string. And we're going to put the pad of our index finger like right across those two strings at once. And we're going to play our low E string open. Now we're just going to be playing the three lowest strings. Just our low E string, our A string, and our D string. Now, if for any reason you can't get your index finger across all those strings, then that's okay. You can play this same thing that I'm going to show just by playing the lowest two strings. So just put your index finger on your A string on your second fret, and that's all you've got to do to be able to do this. Just don't play the D string at all. Just play the lowest two strings, your low E and your A string. Because the principle of what I'm going to show you is going to be the same whether or not you're playing that D string. So that's how it's going to sound to start, but then, so we have a little bit of movement, so it's not just monotonous. It's almost like playing a bar chord, but with just one finger, all the way down at the lowest part of the neck, which I talked about in my video on bar chords, which I posted a few weeks ago, and I'll link that here so you can see that as well, because it's going to be the same idea. But for this, instead of playing a bar chord and just keeping it stationary, we're going to be throwing in our ring finger on the fourth fret of our A string. What we're going to do is, we're going to be starting with our index finger, like I said, on that A string on the second fret. And throughout this lick, we're going to be putting our ring finger on the fourth fret. So it's almost like we're sort of making like an E6 chord in there, because that's the sixth whole tone in the major scale. So we're going to be going back and forth between this. Now, remember, for blues, you want to think in triplets, basically. So you want to think like da 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 da. And so that's sort of the feel you want to get for that swing beat, for the swing and blues feel. So we're going to do that wherever we would use an E chord. So instead of just doing this, which is fine if that's how you play it, but that can sound kind of square depending on your perspective and what else you're trying to play and the type of song it is and all that. So if you want to do this, and you can get that real swing feel in there and get some movement in there to help to move the song along, just like that. And so as you'll know if you watched my first video, you're going to play the E for the first four measures. Then when it's time for measure 5 and it's time to move to the A chord, what are we going to do? We're just going to shift this index finger over just one string from where it is. So now we're going to be playing our A string and our D string, and if you can, your G string, or if not, then just the A and the D strings. And we're going to be using our ring finger for that movement on the D string now. So not on our A string like before, but our D string. So we're basically moving that entire thing over one string. And that's going to be for measures 5 and 6. And then for 7 and 8, we're going to go back to the E again, just like before. And then for the B, now this is going to be cool. Instead of playing that full B chord, like I showed in the first example from that previous video, or the B7 chord, like I showed in that video as well, now all we've got to do is just use these two fingers. So it's like we're making a power chord, basically. So again, check out my video on power chords to learn all about how to do that. But that really might be easier for a lot of you than trying to play that full B chord or even the B7 chord, like I showed in my earlier video. This is going to be a really straightforward way to play any kind of B chord, and it's basically a B power chord. And then, instead of using your ring finger and moving that, because your ring finger is going to be busy now down here, now we're going to use our pinky finger. and you're going to have to stretch, and it's going to take some practice. You're going to have to stretch to do that. And again, that pinky finger is going to be taking the place of the ring finger, essentially, now on your 6th fret on your D string for that B chord. And we're going to go through this whole thing again, so I'll show you right now. Let's start right from 1. So here's 1. Measure 2. 3. Measure 4. Now we're going to be moving to the A for the next measure. So 5, you go to the A. And then 7. Forgot to count 6, sorry. And now for 8. And now for 9, we go to the B. And then 10, we stay on the B. Then for 11, we're going to go to the E. Then back to the B again. Now let's do this whole thing again. Now back to 1. We're playing the E. And 2, we're on the E. 3, we're on the E. 4, we're on the E. 5, we go to the A. 6, we're on the A. And 7, back to the E. And 8, we're on the E. Then 9, we go to the B. 10, we stay on the B. 11, back to the E. And now for the turnaround for 12, back to the B. And then we're back to 1 again. So I hope you see how all that works. Watch this through again and see how that all works. If you have questions, ask them below. I will answer your questions. Tell me what videos you want to see. I will make them. Subscribe to my channel to keep up with everything that's going on right here in John's Guitar Lounge. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, because that helps tell YouTube to push it out to other people so that they can learn from it too. Now remember, I also give private individualized lessons over Zoom and FaceTime and all that. So if you want more information about that, leave your email below or just let me know below and we will get in touch with each other and I will give you more info. And I will see you all next time right here in John's Guitar Lounge. Take care.